Hey everyone, before this video begins, I'd like to remind you that because of copyright issues from Altus with them taking down videos for any footage of Persona 5 whatsoever, there will be no footage for this first impressions video for Persona 5. I want to apologize for that, but hopefully you will enjoy it nonetheless. So without further ado, enjoy the video.
What's up YouTube, Dreamkiller coming at you another video, and welcome to another first impressions video where I take weeks and weeks to fucking talk about the latest video game that I'm talking about, but you know, it's whatever. I like to take my time and flesh out my ideas before I put out a straight up video giving my first impressions. And today we're going to be giving a first impressions video on the latest Altus RPG to come out, the latest Shin Megami Tensei game, and the latest Persona game, Persona 5. And wow, I'm gonna say this right now, the big word that you're gonna be hearing a lot with this first impressions video is stylish. Overall, this game is just stylish through and through. I've only played the big tutorial section of the game so far, but from what I played so far, it's very stylish. It's very out there. First, let me get into the back history of what I know about the Shin Megami Tensei series and the Persona series. I got into the Shin Megami Tensei series mostly through two YouTubers, Alpha Omega Sen and Happy Console Gamer. Happy Console Gamer the most because he did a video, you know, explaining his love for the Persona series. If I can find that video, I'll leave a link so you can go watch that, and you can tell Johnny I sent you. But he made it sound so good, great, so I got into it. I didn't actually get into Persona series first. I actually got into the Shin Megami Tensei series through a DS game called it was Devil Summoner. The first Devil Summoner game, and I got the 3DS remaster, which had extra stuff in it. I played a little bit of it, but unfortunately I sold the game, which is why I'm not showing off my copy of it, because for some reason I sold it off, and I don't know why, but I'll probably get it back at some point. But yeah, that was my first take with the Shin Megami Tensei series. Then, when I went to a con, I got my copy of Persona 3 and Persona 4. I dabbled into a little bit of Persona 3, but I stopped playing for whatever reason, and I haven't even touched Persona 4 yet. That's the problem I have, especially with RPGs, is just I just don't have time to play them as much as I would love to. So, the reason I wanted to start those first is because, you know, even though the Persona series, you don't have to play them in order, they kind of have like a Final Fantasy type thing where it's its own story. But I wanted to play them in order, see how this series has evolved over time. But I decided to say fuck it. I bought Persona 5, started playing that, and I've been enjoying I've been having a very good time with this so far. Like, the most interesting about this Persona 5 is like, you'll play the game for an hour and it feels like 3 because they flesh out the story so damn much. There's a lot of dialogue. I will warn people about that. If you don't like heavy dialogue in your video games, much like, you know, Metal Gear Solid, this isn't the game for you, because this game is all about story. And it's basically, you know, teenagers. One is your main character is a transfer student who goes to this school, and everyone's out to get you. Everyone's an asshole towards you. And then you start to learn about this other world where you can, where there's alternate personalities of these people that hate you, and it's your job with your friends to steal these people's desires to change them for the better. And that's what I know so far. I mean, this game probably goes way deeper in its story, and I look forward to see how deep it possibly goes. One thing that Persona and the Shin Megami Tensei series are very good at doing is talking about subjects that are very, very sensitive to people. A lot of things, especially in the first half of this game, you're getting shit about physical abuse, sexual harassment, suicide, all this stuff that many people are sensitive to talk about, which again, to me, for anyone who's very touchy-feely about that sort of subject matter, I wouldn't recommend playing this game if you are if you don't like that certain stuff, because it gets heavy within the first half of this game. But I like it because, you know, the way they have it in the story, it's just so good, and it's like way out there, and you're like, wow. It's hard to get your mind wrapped up around it, but it is touchy subject matter, so I would highly recommend don't play it if you don't like that touchy subject matter. But overall, again, it's stylish. The combat is stylish, especially with the music. The music the most makes it so stylish because it's so jazzy, and at sometimes it's so metal. But it's so good. I mean, even though, you know, the combat is repetitive, because this is a turn-based RPG. At a time where turn-based RPGs are kind of dying out, this game shows that turn-based RPGs aren't exactly dead yet. And yeah, it's repetitive, but the music and the overall flow of the combat makes you want to keep on playing more and more and more. And another negative that some people will find, that the game is very linear. All the Persona games have been linear in structure, because you go through a calendar cycle, you go through a day cycle, or you go to school, after school you have your certain activities, but after you're done with those activities, you go back home and go to sleep and rinse and repeat. You can do whatever you like in the game activity-wise, but it has a very day structure within the game that makes it very linear, and most people, especially in the world we live in where video games are going more and more into the open world aspect, hell, even I would say the open world concept is being oversaturated in our video games. But, you know, in a world where that exists, you know, games like this would be a hard sell, but, you know, because it has the label of Persona, and it has the Atlus label, seal of approval on it, it's still a great game to play through. Like I said, I played this game for an hour one time, and it felt like 3. It's that good of a game. Combat's stylish and fun. The story is well structured so far. The characters are likable. Even the English dub is really, really good. I don't know who the voice actors are, but I look forward to finding out who they are. But especially the fact that, you know, this game is coming out like a week ago when it was in Japan for however long, it was already getting good reviews. It finally comes out here and it's getting so much praise, and I'm so happy that RPGs like this, especially Persona as a title, the Shin Megami Tensei games as a series are kind of niche titles, so to have this try to, you know, go for a mainstream audience and doing very well with that is very impressive that Atlus managed to do that. And, you know, considering the fact that Sega owns Atlus now, I'm pretty certain that Sega is not regretting their decision to buy Atlus, because they're going to be making a good chunk of money from them. But overall, Persona 5 is a good game. It's a very stylish game, and I would highly recommend anyone who wants to get into Persona series. I would say that this is a good game to start off, because it's very simple. It lets you choose the difficulty, and it walks you through the first half. I imagine as you get further along, you're kind of on your own, but I would say this would be a good jumping point in for the Persona series, because again, you don't have to play any of the Persona games to understand the story, because it's different every game. And who knows, if you finish with this game, I mean, hell, if you finish this game, if you want to get deeper into Persona series, then buy 3 and 4. Buy the first 2, even though I know the first 2 games are probably expensive these days, because they're PlayStation 1 games, and again, it's a very popular series for the niche genre, so I imagine it's not cheap to find 1 and 2. But if you can get 3 and 4, I highly recommend you get 3 and 4. But yeah, it's a good game. I highly recommend buying it if you're a fan of RPGs and you're a fan of everything Japanese and all that. But yeah, that's my little first impressions video of Persona 5, and I look forward to seeing what more the game has to offer. So thank you all for watching. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, because my channel grows because of it, and subscribe, because as always I have many more videos to come like this. Thank you all for watching once again. I'm Dreamkiller. Gamers keep on gaming.